Time Warner Cable is pleased to be an underwriting sponsor for Carolina Week.
Coming up on the September 17th edition of Carolina Week.
I'm Kelsey Colt. Coming up, I'll show you how UNC plans to take text messaging to a new level.
I'm Susan Tart, and I'll tell you why not everyone is eating at the dining halls this month.
In sports, the men's soccer team took a trip to Wolfpack Country for the ACC opener.
Weathercaster Mallory Nichols has your Carolina Week 4-day forecast.
All that and a 500-pound dessert to satisfy any sweet tooth. Carolina Week starts right now.
From the James F. Goodman Studio in the School of Journalism and Mass Communication at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, connecting campus and community, this is Carolina Week.
Hello and welcome to the Monday edition of Carolina Week. I'm Carla Babb.
And I'm Adam Rue. Thank you for joining us. It's a topic that concerns every college student. After last spring's shootings at Virginia Tech, students everywhere wondered how their individual universities would react to a similar tragedy. Carolina Week's Kelsey Colt joins us from campus to tell us more about UNC's plan of action.
In a recent email from university officials, students learned how their cell phones might one day save their lives.
In the past, email was the main form of emergency communication between university officials and students. In order to contact more students more efficiently, UNC's Emergency Warning Committee is enacting a new text messaging alert system. Cell phones are a widespread and instantaneous form of communication, so officials thought it made the most sense to use this method when alerting students of emergencies.
Well, I think that sometimes it takes a tragedy like the one that happened at Virginia Tech for other schools to think about improving their own security measures.
The controversy about Virginia Tech's method of communication last April left a lot of people wondering if the school's officials could have done more to warn their students about potential danger. Laura Falconer thinks it's wise for UNC to have an emergency plan, but she isn't sure such a system would have made a difference in Blacksburg.
If there had been a text messaging system and they had decided to broadcast that, then maybe it would have helped, but I'm not sure that for something that was assumed to be domestic and over, that they would have even sent a notice out.
All emergency situations are different, and UNC officials are trying to cover as many scenarios as they can.
Kelsey, if you're a student, how can you ensure you'll receive the school-wide text messages in times of emergency?
Students can either update their information by clicking on the link in their email, or they can visit our website at www.carolinaweek.org.
Kelsey, thanks. Carolina Week's Kelsey Colt on campus for us tonight.
Some Chapel Hill residents aren't thrilled about the cost of a bench and mural at the town's new Public Works Center. Town officials dedicated this public art to Chapel Hill and Carrboro transit workers on Monday. The final cost, $420,000. The town council footed more than half the bill. The State Department of Transportation and the federal government paid the rest. The controversy involves the location of the art as well. The center is about 3 miles from downtown in a place where hardly anyone will ever see it.
Most birthdays are over in a day, but for one UNC school, the celebration lasted for a whole year. Today, the School of Information and Library Sciences is celebrating the grand finale of its 75th birthday bash. Students first attended classes at the school in 1931 when the dean was Lewis Round Wilson. The PhD program in Manning Hall is currently ranked first in the country by U.S. News & World Report. Throughout the years, the school has sent out more than 4,000 librarians and information specialists.
It's a busy time of year for the UNC Hillel. They're in the high holidays of Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. Almost 300 students attended Rosh Hashanah services last Wednesday, which is the celebration of the Hebrew New Year. Students participated in traditional prayers and practices, like the blowing of the shofar. Executive Director Josh Blumenthal says Hillel tries to make students feel at home, even if they're away from their families.
The focus of the service also is geared toward college students, and we try to make it meaningful and have students participate as much as they would like to, and make it just a meaningful and welcoming prayer service for students.
Yom Kippur services are this Friday and Saturday. For more information, you can visit our website at www.carolinaweek.org. The Islamic holiday Ramadan is a time for celebration for Muslims, but it's also a time of personal challenge. Reporter Susan Tart tells us what it's like for Muslim students on campus and what the university is doing to help.
Arif Khan's prayer means these students can take their first bite of food all day. For the past 14 hours, they've fasted from food and water to purify their souls. Ramadan is usually spent with one's family, but when you're in college, that's hard to do. So these students get together after class. Khan says this makes the fast easier.
You get a chance to do it with all the Muslims that you see on campus, and so you really have like a support group to help you out.
But that doesn't mean it's easy. They still attend class, take tests, and go about their daily lives. And for Khan, this means he still plays quarterback for his intramural football team.
It can become hard, but my biggest thing is I don't want to not come out here and play because I've been fasting, right? Because that defeats the purpose. The point is you're supposed to see how other people feel. You're supposed to face a little bit of struggle.
While Khan welcomes struggles on the field, Archie Irvin says students will never struggle with religious discrimination from the university.
While we're not in the business of endorsing any religion, I don't think that you find there is any opposition to the full-fledged practicing of your own faith.
The dining halls on campus aren't open during the hours Muslim students are allowed to eat, so the school is allowing students with meal plans to get takeout packages instead. However, most students are just avoiding the cafeterias altogether. Khan says the university has been very accommodating, and for the nearly 100 Muslim students on campus, this means a lot. In Chapel Hill, I'm Susan Tart, Carolina Week.
Ramadan lasts for a month, meaning the students have about 25 days left to fast during daylight hours.
The town of Carrboro has the largest Hispanic population in Orange County. Hundreds of people spent Sunday afternoon at the Carrboro Town Commons for the 3rd annual Festival de Familia. The free event featured a live band that played popular Latin American music. There was also Spanish dancing and costumes. The festival gave Carrboro residents a chance to buy paintings and art for their homes, participate in arts and crafts, and taste authentic Hispanic cuisine. And festivals like these aren't the only way to hear live music in Carrboro. Cat's Cradle has a benefit for the Leukemia Society this Friday at 8:30. The event costs $10 and will feature Tad Cockrell, Brandon James, and a performance by the UNC Clefhangers. Well, National Geographic is known for its compelling pictures.
Coming up, we'll tell you why the magazine's photographers are making kids like this little boy feel like a star.
Any questions?
No.
You know.
We're not magicians, we can't read your mind.
We need your questions, each and every kind.
What are the side effects, doctor, doctor?
How many times have you done this before?
Questions are the answer.
Will this react with my other medicine?
Hey, what are all these tests even for?
You have the power to say what's on your mind.
We need your questions, each and every kind. Questions are the answer. Questions are the answer.
UNC's Children's Hospital represents many who fight life and death battles. One group shows the patient's adversity in photo form. Mark Alexic has that story.
Margot Pinkerton and Arnie Zan are professional photographers. They've shot for National Geographic, Vogue, and Time magazines. But this photo shoot presents unique challenges.
Our talent is secondary to the kids. The kids are the stars. We're trying to make them, their day special.
And what a special day it is. Children attending this photo shoot have faced life-threatening illnesses. Now they'll have pictures documenting their survival.
It's catching their winsome smiles. It's seeing the courage that these kids go through, because some of them have some pretty serious operations they've been through.
Like Tyson Smith. He was still in diapers when doctors performed surgery on his heart.
They found out the situation was very serious, And so through tests, they determined that it could have been a virus attacked his heart and caused his heart to enlarge.
Tyson is recovering well. So well, he and his father got free professional portraits of themselves thanks to Flashes of Hope.
This has meant a lot to me. I didn't realize how much it would give to my life.
The hospital gave Tyson a new lease on life. Tyson gave Michael, Margot, and Arnie a new look at life.
The father of Tyson earlier was saying, you really do not appreciate life until you go through something like that. So in a way, we're celebrating life.
A celebration of life, one picture at a time. In Chapel Hill, I'm Mark Oleksic, Carolina Week.
Hospitals across the country have adopted their own chapters of Flashes of Hope. The chapter at UNC's Children's Hospital is the first one in North Carolina. A recent study shows that popping the pill might prevent more than just pregnancy. The British Medical Journal reports that taking birth control pills reduces the risk of developing any type of cancer by 12%, but only if you take them for a short period of time. Women who took the pill for more than 8 years saw a 22% increase in their risk of cancer. 300 million women worldwide have used the birth control pill since its creation in 1961. The university is starting a new program to get more women interested in science. It's not unusual to see people working with beakers and test tubes in a lab. What is unusual is seeing women doing the experiments. Not that many women study science, and only 23% of UNC women faculty members are in the sciences. That's why Carolina is introducing a new program called Working on Women in Science to recruit more women to labs like this one. The university is providing more than $110,000 for the experimental program.
Are you tired of walking to class every day? Some UNC students don't have to. For the first time, the university is offering some beginner language classes in hybrid form. Instead of having to walk to class 4 days a week, students in hybrid introductory Spanish meet with a professor just 1 day a week. Virtual classes meet 3 times a week and include lectures,
Buenos días, clase.
written homework, and recorded pronunciation exercises. A student-led session once a week gives participants a chance to work on conversation.
Finally, you can see and hear the first people of North Carolina on campus. UNC's American Indian Center held its first open house at Abernathy Hall on Friday. The event featured native drumming and the Carolina Indian Circle singing group, Unheard Voices. The center will facilitate research, events, and programs related to American Indians. Assistant Director Brandy Brooks says the center will make Native issues a permanent part of the university.
It's an excellent resource. It's actually the first of its kind in the Southeast. So that kind of establishes the university as truly the university for the people and the first people of North Carolina and in the Southeast, the first Americans.
There are only about 200 Native American students at UNC, but administrators hope to increase enrollment in the future.
Last week we told you about our cuddly friend Bear, and we're pleased to tell you he found a new home a few days ago. Now let's introduce you to this week's featured pet. Meet Peggy Sue, a 5-year-old red tick hound who's best known at the shelter as a busy bee. She's a playful companion, and like most hounds, she's always on a mission. She came to the shelter as a stray, and now she's looking for a friendly and affectionate family to call her own. For more information about how you can adopt Peggy Sue or any of the other animals at the shelter, go to our website, carolinaweek.org. And now we're joined by weathercaster Mallory Nichols.
Hey. Hi, Mallory. It's getting a lot cooler out there. I was packing my things for flag football, and I had to pack a long-sleeve shirt and tights.
Well, I don't know about you or everybody else, but I'm definitely loving the cooler temperatures. Beautiful conditions have definitely come to Chapel Hill. These girls decided to take advantage by hula hooping outside. Will these awesome conditions last through the week? Fall is in the air.
I'm tall enough to reach the light switches. I'm big enough to brush my teeth by myself. I'm the tallest kid in my class. I haven't worn diapers in years. I'm much less likely to vomit at random now. My cups don't have lids anymore. Mine either. I'm getting pretty big. But to help me survive a car crash, I still need you to give me a boost.
Until they're 4'9", use a booster seat in the car and don't let them down.
They're kind of cool.
Not really. Pretty annoying.
How'd you get them?
Shooting windows out with my BB gun, and next day these showed up.
I think it's bad karma. You gotta do something good. Help out in the community. Donate to charity.
Just been real busy, you know? Yeah.
Stay on the universe's good side. Volunteer, vote, get involved.
Hi, welcome back to Carolina Week. I'm weather forecaster Mallory Nichols. We had a perfect weather weekend as far as Saturday and Sunday was concerned, but if we remember Friday, it was a bit of a washout. This did help a little bit with our drought relief. It brought in about 1 to 2 inches in some areas and even 4 in others. It didn't quite get rid of the whole 20-inch deficit that we did have, but it did help a little bit. Saturday and Sunday, we saw perfect temperatures. Fall temperatures are in the air, even though fall is still officially a week away. We do feel those temperatures already, and we will still feel those for the rest of the week. We're also going to take a look at the tropics out there and see if anything is going on that we might need to be concerned about as well for that area. If we go to the U.S. satellite, you'll see right now nothing is happening over North Carolina. We do have a little bit of some cloud cover down over Florida out to the east of there, and then we do have a little bit out west to look at for the cloud cover. And then if we look at the radar, you'll see that rain that's associated with those clouds as well. If we take a closer look, you'll see there's a little bit of clouds covering there's a lot of clouds covering out off the coast of Florida, a little bit back to the west, but nothing happening for North Carolina, and same thing with the rain, just a little bit out there, so nothing really to worry about with the rain. If we go to the current surface map, you'll see we have that stationary front, which is what brought the tornadoes. We did have 11 reported tornadoes for Friday. Well, that's pushed out off the coast. There is a chance for that to relapse. We'll take a look at that a little bit later, but we do have a little bit of a low pressure system out west that we need to take a look at. This won't affect us for much for this week, but we'll need to keep an eye on that for next week as well. If we go to Tuesday's surface map, you'll see that rain that's associated with the stationary front out there has started to push a little bit back. You see the rain cover is headed a little more towards the coast, and then if we take a look at Wednesday, you'll see it is on the coast. That's caused by this high pressure system that's sitting up to the north of us. The flow around it's causing that precipitation to move back. The triangle should be clear for that rain, which is kind of bad since we are in a deficit, but we may see a little bit of that on Thursday and Friday, and then we'll keep an eye on this low pressure system moving east in our direction for the early part of next week. If we look at the tropics out there, you'll see that we did have a little bit of a tropical depression Ingrid. She did work herself up to a storm, but now she's back and pretty much nothing. So nothing to worry about there, and not much else out there going on. This is the peak of hurricane season, so it is a little unfortunate that there's nothing going on as far as the hurricane is concerned. And then if we go to the 4-day forecast, you'll see Tuesday, sunny temperatures, and Wednesday as well, just a little bit of clouds. Thursday and Friday, those clouds are going to start to increase. The temperatures are looking pretty good, staying in the lower 80s for much of the week, and then the low temperatures are down into the 60s, and then increasing a little bit on Friday with that rain coming back towards us. But for the most part, the temperatures look pretty good for the rest of the week, so that fall is definitely in the air.
Definitely. I don't know about you, but Southern girls like myself better start getting ready to add a couple of layers on before we go outside.
Definitely.
Mallory, thanks. With all this nice weather, walking 100 feet outside might seem like nothing, but for smokers on campus, it could feel like miles. The UNC administration is working to pass a bill to ban smoking within 100 feet of any campus buildings. The employee forum recently announced its decision to support the ban as a way to make campus as smoke-free as possible. Popular places to light up on campus include the wall outside Dye Hall and on the steps of Wilson Library. But if the ban passes, these places will become a lot less crowded, as smoking will be allowed in only a few places, including Polk Place and in Kenan Stadium. Some smokers resent the ban.
I would definitely go behind a bush because I'm not going to quit smoking, and I'm going to smoke on campus because I have to be here. I mean, smoking's a part of my life.
Our members are pushing for officials to enact the ban by November 1st.
And now we're joined by sportscaster Sarah Moore. Hi, Sarah.
Sarah, one more weekend and another close football game.
Yeah, I saw you at the game, and it looked like you were having a lot more fun than the guys out on the field.
Yeah.
Coming up in sports, Butch and the boys took to the field on Saturday with high hopes for their ACC opener. We'll have the highlights.
My name's Emily, and in 7 years, I'll be an alcoholic. I'll start drinking in 8th grade, but my parents won't really notice because I'll do okay in school and everything will seem okay, but everything won't be okay.
Kids who drink before age 15 are 5 times more likely to have alcohol problems when they're adults. So start talking before they start drinking.
I was in a drunk driving accident down in Melbourne, Florida. Everything I do is a challenge at different levels. Anytime I can get out of my chair and do something, I have that sense of freedom. I think everybody on this earth, whether they know it or not, is ultimately trying to achieve that freedom.
Able Flight, flight training scholarships for people with disabilities.
Welcome to Carolina Week Sports. I'm Sarah Moore. The football team played its first ACC game Saturday. The game was a losing effort for Coach Davis and his players, but what an effort it was. Sports reporter Jay Spence has more.
The crowd, the flyover, the energy. It was all there for Butch Davis's first ACC game Saturday afternoon. Coach Davis's anticipation was evident as he waited in the tunnel with the players. Moments later, they hit the field running. The game itself had all the plays a fan could hope for: touchdowns, field goals, and fumbles, though you hope those come from the other team. But in the end, neither Davis's pleading nor the players' will could prevent Virginia from handing Carolina its second heartbreaking defeat of the season.
The kids, every single week, they do the things that our coaches are trying to ask them to do from a standpoint. They are trying to play hard. They are trying to hustle. They're trying to get to the ball. They're trying to make plays. They're trying to have faith. They're trying to put themselves, at the end of ball games in a position to give ourselves a chance to win.
The players realized the importance of ACC play.
Coming out, it was an important game. ACC, our goal is to win the ACC championship, so it was definitely a big game, a lot of energy. We came up a little short, but we got to get ready for next week.
It was intense out there. The first couple of plays, they're straining, we straining. Somebody's going to give eventually, and I think we gave a little bit too early, and then we took it back. We tried to take it back at the end, and you just can't win like that.
Despite the 22-20 loss, one couldn't help but applaud. The game was an epic. It featured tremendous adversity, followed by an admirable comeback, only to see the home team fall short in an ending fitting of a Shakespearean play. But that's life in the ACC. In Chapel Hill, I'm Jay Spence, Carolina Week.
For the first time in 5 years, the Tar Heel women's soccer team has lost 2 matches in a season. The Heels outshot William and Mary 17-1 Sunday, but Claire Zimick made sure that shot was a good one. The Tribe beat the Heels 1-0. The Tar Heel men's soccer team took to the road this weekend in the ACC opener against NC State. Bill Dworsky scored in the 72nd minute. Let's look at that again. The sophomore forward gets the cross from another sophomore, Ryan Johnson, and slides it just past the keeper. It was Dworsky's second game-winning goal this season. The game changer seals a Tar Heel victory, 1-0.
A successful season is something we always look for, so any win, like I said, against tough teams like NC State and other teams coming our way now, it's just something we need to concentrate on. We need to improve our games, and so far that was a good start of the season.
The Carolina volleyball team is at the top of the ACC standings. The team traveled to Raleigh Friday night, and State got served. The Heels laid it all on the line and breezed past the Wolfpack in the first 2 games. NC State took an early lead in this 3rd game. Oh, but don't get too excited yet, Wolfpack fans. Carolina had an answer for everything State sent its way. UNC rallied back, winning the match in 3 games. The Heels will try to hold their #1 position in the ACC as they take on Georgia Tech and Clemson this weekend. For those of you who like short shorts, let's talk about a sport with really short shorts. The Carolina women's cross-country team ran into first place at the Mountaineer Open Friday. The men finished second to Appalachian State by a single point. The #1 ranked women's field hockey team battled the weather and Old Dominion Monarchs on Friday. Play finally got underway at Francis E. Henry Stadium following a 2-hour lightning delay. The Lady Heels started off strong in the first half, but couldn't get any of their 11 shots past ODU goalie Kelly Driscoll. Jessie Guy eventually broke through for Carolina on a rebound 1 minute and 42 seconds into the second half. UNC put home 2 more goals, including this one by Danielle Ford with 10 minutes to play. The Lady Heels coasted to a 3-0 victory. Playing under a Carolina blue sky and in front of a rowdy sea of Carolina fans, the field hockey team defeated number 7 Penn State Sunday afternoon. The win took Carolina's record to 8-0. It was the second shutout of the weekend and the third on the season. In the second half, senior Rachel Dawson kicked into gear, scoring not once, not twice, but 3 times within a 13-minute time span. Although the Heels hold the number one ranking, senior Jessie Guy knows her team still has work to do.
We make mistakes every day, so we know we're not where we need to be. And, even today we made some mistakes, so we want to get better every day. So we know that, we're not a number 1 team yet until we get that title. So.
The women's tennis team hit the court at St. Mary's Classic in Knoxville on Sunday. Sophomore Sanaz Morand wielded her racket of doom to claim the Flight 1 title. Morand and partner Sophie Grabinski fell short in the doubles finals. The women's tennis team's had some really great players. 2 of our past players actually went up to the U.S. Open this year and played.
That's interesting to know, although too bad they didn't win the U.S. Open.
Very true.
Thanks, Sarah. Now, Adam, I don't know about you, but when it comes to sweets, the bigger, the better.
You bet. But coming up, is this 10-foot cookie too good to be true? We'll show you what's cooking in Carrboro.
When your children ask where you got married, will you have to tell them, over there by the unleaded? When we lose a historic place, we lose a part of who we are. Help protect historic places in your community. Visit nationaltrust.org.
If you have a story idea, contact Carolina Week at 843-8292. You can also visit us online at carolinaweek.org. If you have questions about this program, write Carolina Week at Campus Box 3365, UNCCH, Chapel Hill, North Carolina, 27599.
What 500-pound treat puts kids on their best behavior? Reporter Julia Ritchie discovers a cookie with a cause.
375 eggs and 95 pounds of chocolate chips. Those are just 2 of the ingredients it took for the Immaculate Baking Company to make a giant cookie benefiting the Carrboro Arts Center. The event spanned 2 days at 2 locations, Southern Village and downtown Carrboro. Associate Director of the Arts Center, Lauren Sachs, says money from the event will give several kids a chance to dabble in the arts.
It's really a main focus of the Arts Center to provide opportunities for everyone in the community, regardless of income.
Both kids and adults tried to sneak a peek at the giant cookie, which baked for more than 4 hours. Luckily, there were some smaller cookies on hand, as well as free ice cream and funky music. Immaculate Baking founder Scott Blackwell says of the 28 giant cookie fundraisers they've done, chocolate chip is always the crowd favorite.
At the end of the day, if you ask people what they want chocolate chip. And it's kind of like Leonard Skinner, we got to play that, Freebird, it's got to play that one hit, that everybody wants to hear.
This isn't the first time the folks at Immaculate Baking Company have attempted to cook oversized sweets for a good cause. They set the record for world's largest cookie in 2003 with a 40,000-pound cookie, which raised money for Blackwell's Folk Art Foundation. This humongous cookie fest raised more than $1,000, and that's a whole lot of dough. In Carrboro, I'm Julia Ritchie, Carolina Week.
Well, Adam, it's like that guy said, if you're going to make a cookie, you might as well make chocolate chip.
I'd be perfectly okay with the 95 pounds of chocolate chips myself.
Oh, definitely. That does it for this edition of Carolina Week.
Thank you for watching. Have a good night.